Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Yomo. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast, and we're back for another brand new week. And we know this is getting towards a holiday season, but we can't skip this for too long. And I had a few, I guess, busy days, but here we're back, and we're trying to do Reflection 341, and it's a new book, and I don't know if this is a book that is in Chris's alley. Yeah, it's probably like
Yeah.
off the beaten path.
No, it's not the best book. It's called Harvard. It's the Harvard Business Review on Leadership Volume 2. I mean, it's exactly what it says. It's a Harvard Business Review's 10 must reads on leadership. And they're like 10 little kind of short stories of it and like lessons and
Mhm.
what Harvard Business Review says is good leadership. I don't remember a single thing from this book. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Something about leadership, right?
I don't even know that I don't even know where this reflection came from.
Uh-huh.
But this is the reflection title. This one is consistently inconsistent. And I think it was maybe just this got me thinking about work in general. And just kind of
Yeah, I mean, how Harvard Business Review is geared towards like work,
business. Yeah.
the workplace and businesses. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So the reflection title of this one is consistently inconsistent. I don't know about you, but like the most fun that I ever have at any job or work or whatever you want to call it, right? Is when it's brand new, when it's a new job, new company, new place, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but new unanswered questions and new processes to learn and new products to understand and new product market fits to understand and new customers to understand and new questions to ask and new everything is new, right? Like you wake up in the morning. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you wake up in the morning, it's like your mind is captivated by it. Your mind's captivated all day long. You feel like
Yeah, your
you're
mind's
plugging up
engaged because
people.
it's more of
It's all new.
the discovery of it. I mean, this is how our brain feeds, right? It feeds
Right,
on the newness.
right,
And so when
right.
you have something new, it's like, and you think about it all the time, and
Yep,
and it
all day.
engages your brain, it focuses your brain. Otherwise, if it, I've seen it before, it's starts slowly disengage and it starts to go to sleep. That's what your brain does.
Pretty much, yeah. So the most fun that I've ever had at any job. I mean, it doesn't matter if I worked at a company for 5 years, 7 years, or whatever. But anytime I would switch jobs within that company, that was like the
Hmm.
most fun that I would have, right? Or when there was like a new challenge that was put in front of me, and it was just, you go to bed, you dream about it when you're sleeping. You wake up, and the first thing in the morning you want to do is to go tackle it. I'm going through this now with the pickleball club. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm having trouble writing, doing my reflections and first things first time,
You're distracted.
because I immediately want to start just going to get the stuff out of my head and start to get to work on. Well, I need to do this. I need to figure out this. I need to do this. I need to figure out that. I need to go do this. And like I'm like, no, stop. Just focus. That'll all be there in a second. Like, go do the stuff that matters to you. Like I have to actively tell myself to shut it down. And like but that's because it's all so new, right? To your point, it's like the novelty
Hmm.
just encapture captivates us and it just locks us in, right? Now, like what ultimately ends up happening though is like that kind of learning fevered learning zone, where you're like everything is so new and novel to you. Like it's exhausting. I mean, while it's fun and it's engaging, it's also exhausting. It's like that panic zone, that we talked about versus panic
Hmm.
stretch comfort zone. It's
Right.
it's it's definitely a panic zone, especially if it's for work related activities where you don't really care about it anyway, and somebody else's values that are throwing you into that.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
it's it's very much so, it throws you into the panic zone, and the panic zone is not a sustainable place to live life. Now you might be able to endure in there for a little while, but
It's not
eventually
good
you're
for
just
your health either.
it's not good for your health. You're just going to eventually get exhausted and tired and burn yourself out, really. So the opposite of that though is like, great, finally we maybe figure out how to get out of panic zone and pull ourselves back into stretch zone, and eventually, like you said, you start to know what you're doing now, right? And then you
Hmm.
get stuck in that comfort zone. That's the knowing zone, right? That's the God, that's when you start to spend more time. You don't have any, the questions start to dry up. It's boring. You know exactly what you're doing every single day. Like I'm in that zone right now at work, right? Where it's like, all right, I got to go to this meeting. I got to go do this. Like, this is our process for this. This is what we do for this. Like, it's like, throw me a new bone, throw me a new challenge, throw me anything, please, God, just give me something that I can like go tech, dive my teeth into to like actually, reinvigorate my brain, because you just get on cruise control. It gets boring, knowing is so boring. We've talked about this so many times. Novelty, unfolds time, and monotony collapses it. It just makes it so time feels like it just slugs on, right? When you get to that knowing stage, which is also not sustainable, right? Nobody wants to be bored out of their mind, and nobody wants to be hyper, in this hyper, panic mode, where you're constantly learning stuff all day long. Everybody wants to be in that stretch mode, right? That we've talked about, that perfect, blend, balanced state of pushing yourself just enough to stay out of your comfort zone, but not too much where you're in this crazy, frenzied, everything is brand new kind of zone, and you have no idea what you know and you don't know at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what boils down to for me, the dilemma. How do you stay in that stretch zone, right? And how do you stay in that state where you are constantly invigorating yourself with new questions and challenges to solve, but at the same time, not knowing anything, right? It's a really weird, delicate balance state to be in, right? It's hard to figure out, and it's hard to do it. So here's my personal solution to this. It's twofold. Number one, it's find ways to just mix up every single day, try new stuff all the time, purposely go out of your way to like just try to do anything new that you can do and actively do. That's why I do these monthly challenges. It's why I do, a lot of other just random things just to keep my mind invigorated and engaged, and read new books, and, and do new things in this life, just because it keeps you going, and it keeps your mind, active and engaged, and having fun and processing the world. Now, the second part of it is, once you learn anything new out of these things, then you apply it to the one rock that you should always have. You should know better than anything, which is your purpose. If you can, that purpose should never really change. That should be the one thing that is boring as hell, right? I think your purpose should be boring, because it's supposed to be the thing that more intimately, more than anything in the world. It shouldn't be constantly evolving and new and shaking everywhere. But if you take these new things that are inconsistent, and you can apply it to your one constant, which is the consistent purpose you have in life, I think you can try to find that balanced state of that perfect stretch zone, where it's kind of consistently inconsistent, right? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Overall?
It does, but I don't completely agree with the choice of words.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Well,
Bring
are
it
you
on.
done? Are
Yeah.
you done?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So I think, I do agree with the gist of what you say. Okay. I just don't think that I agree with the stretch zone and get out of your comfort zone, or getting off balance and all that. I think this is the wording that people have been conditioning us to use. For
Yeah.
me, for once, I like to be in a comfort zone. And and you have to define what that is. Comfort zone is not what you say to me. Say, hey, True, you're in a comfort zone, right? And if you say, hey, True, you are just sitting there and watching TV, that isn't my comfort zone.
Right.
That is my bored zone. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So my comfort zone is like
That's a good
where
point.
the center of balance is. My comfort zone is, oh, I am not stressed out, but I'm also engaged and focused and in the zone. I'm learning new
That's the stretch
things.
zone.
But that's what I'm saying is, I don't agree with the wording. I like comfort zone because I'm at most comfortable when I am doing things that is within my capacity. Let's say I know how to do programming, but I want to take on new projects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not like, oh, I have no idea what programming is and I want to take on a new project. That's just too much.
Right.
That's just outside. It's too stretched. But for me, my sweet spot is I know how to build mobile apps. but I want to build new mobile apps that incorporate new concept, technology, and whatnot. And that's the newness I want. Enough newness, right? Let's say newness of 20% newness
Right.
versus 25% newness. There is a certain specific newness or level for each and every one of us. And for me, it's 20% or whatever it is. I'm just making up a number for me, right? And to me, that is my comfort zone. I'm the most comfortable doing that because, for one, I have enough experience and enough skills in the programming aspect to have the confidence to take on something new. Therefore, I'm comfortable when
Right.
I'm doing something that is engaging my mind, and I can figure out solutions, or I can, um just like I told you about building my rails, right? When I couldn't remove the screws, right, I decide I can pivot quickly and take them all out by using a hacksaw and get rid of the old ones
Mhm.
without having to sit there and bang my head against it. How do I get rid of it? I can sit there all day long, but I can pivot quickly, right? That it is my comfort zone because, for if you think about it, if you take it on the one end, say, well, everything goes smoothly, right? Everything is expected, right? To me, that isn't a comfort zone for me. That is like a bored zone, a
Right.
boredom zone for me. If I do something that I cannot solve, like, hey, I have no idea how to get this thing, or there's no tool for me to do it, and I don't know the tool. It's just like you put me into a marketing position, or you give me into a writing, a book writer, like, make me an
Right.
author, right? I can't. To me, that is a stress zone because it stresses me out.
Right.
So I like to redefine, because this is what I'm always have been arguing with everybody about, is that everybody keeps saying, "Hey, get out of your comfort zone," and say, "Why the fuck do I need to get out of my comfort zone?"
Maybe it should be make your comfort zone more challenging. I don't know.
What is comfort zone?
I mean, comfort zone is boredom. That's what it is to me. That's
No,
what I
then
would
you
call
should call it
it.
boredom zone. Why do you call it comfort zone? I'm comfortable.
It's
Okay, let me
it's
let me ask you this one. Okay, let's say you're a person that likes a certain temperature. Let's say it's 75 degrees.
right.
And you say, "Ma, I don't like my comfort zone. I want to go and push it to 80 degrees." Isn't that stupid?
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
and and,
well,
and then and then then you say,
no,
"Hey,
no,
I, I'm
not
I'm
totally.
at
I mean,
80 degrees, and then I'll go to 85 degrees."
but hang on,
But,
not totally stupid, because then you get, maybe you have more appreciation when you come back down to 75 degrees. Number one, number
uh-uh.
two, you
What's the point of comfort zone? You're stretching a comfort zone. Why are you stretching it? Why are you stretching it? Why are you making say, "Hey, you come to at 70. Your body likes it 70. You most optimal at 70. You do things better at a 70. You're not distracted at 70, right?
hmm.
Now you want to go to 80. Why are you doing that? That's my question. You're
Well,
not
why do you
optimal.
take a cold shower? Why do you take a sauna?
You don't have to.
You don't have
I
to,
mean,
but why would you do it?
no, I guess to me is, if you like cold shower, then you take a damn cold shower, because that is your comfort zone. There's no need to push yourself out, because if you take cold shower, Chris, and you do that for a month, or you do that for 6 months, you do that for a year, and you stopped, you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
If you are if you are designed or made to take cold showers, then you're gonna like cold shower. Because for me, I like 62 degree, for example. I like 60 degree to 70 degree. That's
Right.
my comfort zone. I don't want to go anywhere else. My wife, she say 70 to like 75. That's her comfort zone. That's different. I'm optimal at that state. I do work, right. I do better things that, because I'm not distracted. But I'm
Right.
stretching my comfort zone. What's the point? Because I'm saying is, your comfort zone, it is where you are most optimal. When we are optimal, when I'm optimal in my comfort zone, is when I'm also doing discovery. I'm not doing nothing new. If you didn't do nothing new, that isn't in my comfort zone. Because
Right.
if I consider myself a thinker, right, then I need new topics to think about. That is my comfort zone. It's not in my stretch zone. So that's why I think I
Interesting.
don't understand, but
I
I
agree.
personally have a
There's a terminology, you know,
Yeah, because so somehow I can't explain to you, but I somehow
I know what you're
feel that
saying.
I'm disagree with what people say, and every single time somebody say get out of comfort zone, it kind of irks me a little bit. And like I said, I don't know why it does, but it does.
Well, it's because what you're saying, your comfort zone is somewhere where you prefer to challenge yourself in your comfort zone, and that is your comfort zone.
If you have challenge as your core values and
Right.
challenging yourself every day, it's actually your comfort zone. It's not your stretch zone.
Yeah, no,
because because
I
because
agree. I mean, yeah,
God has given me the ability to think. Then I always think, right? I think all the time. Like like I told you, I go outside because I'm working on my beach house right now. I go outside and I just look at the rails and I say, well, this rails is about 7 feet, right? It's not 8 feet, but I can calculate that through and then okay, I need
right.
50 2x4s, and I can do the blah, blah. I can do that pretty accurate because that's my capacity, that's my ability to do, and that's my comfort zone. It,
That's a flow state that you're talking about. Where your skills meet the demand of the activity you need to accomplish, and you're able to do it. Like you're
but I'm
talking
not
about more.
stretched out. I'm not stretched it at
Yeah,
any means. I
but
mean,
you're talking about like a flow state though, is what you're talking about.
well,
Is
the thing
getting
is, you think about. Let's say you're a football player and you say, hey, I'm a wide receiver and I can run at this speed and I catch a ball with this range, right?
right.
That's your comfort zone, right? And for an athlete, his need to progress is his comfort zone,
Mhm.
right? It's not to say that hey, his comfort zone it's just this, his speed is only that much and he's done. His comfort zone is the need to also make progress on his speed as well.
Yeah, I mean,
So to me,
I think
that
we
is a
all do that.
it is
It's growth. I
the
mean, we all want growth.
well, that's what I'm saying is your growth is part of your comfort zone need,
It is.
right?
This is what
So
this is.
when you watch TV, right?
Yeah,
You watch TV, you say, "Hey, I'm not watching like the same thing over and over that has no interest to me. I'm
right.
watching something new and something more, you know, stimulating." And so that's
I
to
I
me.
100% agree with what you're saying. I think the words and the spirit of always being impeccable with your words, it would be the comfort zone to me then means no more questioning, no more novelty, boredom. You're just doing what you know how to
But
do.
but
Like,
that but I guess I so English is not my first language. So when
right.
I heard the word comfort, and based on what I can reference the word comfort with, what people use it for, in this usage, somehow I feel that it doesn't align. Because when you say, "Hey, I'm comfort," that means everything you have is at the right balance, is at the right place, right? It is in its proper design place. And if
That's
you
what I
say,
would call
"Well,"
harmony. That's what I
right,
would call the
if
harmony.
you say that as comfort, why would anyone want to get out of it? And to me, maybe because of that particular, word that I maybe have been used to understanding what it means, it doesn't align with what I understand it, and,
When
and
you're
it
talking about
creates
when you say what you say to me, I hear the words balance and I hear the words harmony. That's what I hear when you say when you're
right.
describing
So
your comfort zone.
let's say we use the word harmony, right?
Right.
You say, "Hey, I don't want to get out of my harmony." Does that make
No,
sense?
I don't want
It
that.
doesn't
No.
make sense
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So comfort zone to me is harmony, and it may be or may not be, but to me, as of now, I think the word comfort is like harmony. So when you say, "I want to get out of my comfort zone," it's like saying to me, "I want to get out of harmony." And in that logically does not make sense to
I
me,
would agree with that. I mean,
right?
if that's the way you're defining comfort, then I would agree that I don't want that either. I'm defining comfort as the boredom zone.
So,
Is
but let
the
me
yeah.
ask you then, why are we defining comfort as a boredom zone? Boredom zone. What is the relationship between boredom and comfort?
When something is comfortable to me, like you know it, like the back of your hand. It's there's no more novelty. Like I think of
But
a comfy sweater, right? Like it is what it is. Like it's not exciting, it's not fancy, there's nothing novel, you wear it all the time, it's got some holes in it, whatever, but like it's not you're not stretching your fashion boundaries, you're not whatever. It's
Why
just
would you want to stretch your fashion boundaries?
I don't know, maybe there's other things out there that you like, maybe
I
there's
mean, let me ask you, what do you want to put a dent in the universe?
I mean, no, I mean, not necessarily.
Right, right. So people say, "Hey, I want to build dams. I'm not gonna go build, a bridge, or I'm gonna build like, whatever. I just want to
Right.
feel good and have a good life. I don't know about you, but my purpose of living is to have an enjoyable life, not to put
Right.
a fucking dent in the universe. So you say, "Hey, I need to get out of my comfort zone." What am I achieving? If I say, through you are a human being, you need
Novelty.
to breathe, right? You need to breathe. I want to stop breathing, right? I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm going to hold my breath, right? So what's the point? I'm asking, what's the point? I don't see the point
it's
in
it's
getting out of your comfort
it's
zone. What
learn
are you what are you getting at?
it's
I say,
learning,
if
it's
no,
novelty.
to me is this is what my take on this is, that if you are not doing the things that align with who you are, then you need to do things to make you go back into harmony with what you want self, which is yourself.
I agree. Yeah.
So once you get there, right, you do that, continue to do that, because that is going to give you the best joy, the best feeling, because you are controlled by your feeling, you are controlled by your gene. If I squeeze your neck, right, you're gonna suffocate. It doesn't feel good, because you as a human being needs to breathe air, right? For
Right.
example. And so we say, hey, I don't, I want to get out of my comfort zone. I want to stop breathing air, for example. In that scenario, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
So
you've talked
what are we trying to get out of comfort zone for?
you've
What is
talked
the
to
reason?
you've talked about this before yourself, about your heart rate, right? You train your heart up and down. You train your heart with faster and slower in order to find a happy median, a comfort zone, I guess, with your heart rate
But
for long enough
that's what I'm saying
longevity.
is that activity in itself, it is comfortable to me. For when I lift weights, right? I'm comfortable. It's not that I'm uncomfortable. I like it. I
Right.
like when I eat spicy food, right? I like it. I don't know about you, but I like spicy food,
No,
right?
I know what
So
you're
so
saying. Like,
so
I
it's
mean,
saying
I
it's
definitely know
saying,
what
hey,
you're saying.
because you are created by with a certain set of genes. You like certain things. For me, it's like I do programming every single day. I look at code, basically looking at symbols almost every single day, but I like it. I'm in the zone. To me, that is comfortable for me. I'm comfortable doing that. But within that comfortable, the progression of learning more, or learning, like learning meaning
Right.
taking in new stimuli, input, and crafting some patterns. That is what I want. That is the comfort zone for me.
That's an activity though. You make an interesting statement about like the activities you do, because when I think of like athletics for me, or like sports, or tennis or pickleball or whatever, right? Like every shot is new, every game is new, everything about it is new. Even if the game is old as time and I've played it a million different times, every single time that I step onto a court against a new opponent in a new environment, with a new weather pattern, with new sun, with new light, with new shade, with new darkness and whatever, and different shots, every point is different, right? Like to your point, like it's I'm comfortable on a court.
You're comfortable taking on a challenge,
Yes,
right?
I'm comfortable being in an
Exactly. This
uncomfortable
is
state, which is what I'm saying is like it's an inconsistent
exactly. You
consistent.
you you
Yeah.
like, for example, you like inconsistency,
Mhm.
right? That is your comfort zone. If you don't
Right.
like it, you're in a stress zone. There's no need for you in a stress zone. I'm not saying that when you're in a comfort zone, nothing changes. The comfort zone is actually the things that is, the thing is, nothing in our world, it is stagnant. Everything is always moving. It's like a treadmill. It's always
Right.
moving, right? And so even if you don't move, it also moves. So you cannot stay still. But having the pace, let's say you're on a treadmill, right? Let's say you walk like, whatever the numbers on the machine say, let's say it's 3.5. That's your comfort zone. It's always
Mhm.
moving, but it's moving at that pace, right? Let's say you jog, right? Or you run, right? You have a certain pace. Say, hey, I'm comfortable with this pace. Or you're
Right.
comfortable with increasing your space, right? So that is also a comfort zone for me because you are in harmony with who you're supposed to be as that person, as that set of DNA that makes you who you are.
I mean,
So for me,
I hear what
find
you're
your
saying. Like,
comfort
I don't
zone or
disagree.
cry
Yeah.
out of the comfort zone, find your harmony and be in it. Don't get
Yeah.
out of it.
I totally agree with that statement
Like I
100%.
say, I don't understand the word comfort as much as maybe you do, and maybe that what throws me off. But I think if we can replace the word harmony, it make more sense.
it's when I have to do the same thing over and over again and I get good at it. And I don't want to, and there's nothing else for me to want to go learn. Now, like I have to like put a caveat with that is like, look, I get it. To be world class at something, you have to be, when you hit that 95% of the novelty is gone and you only have 5% left to unlock, whatever of the level of what you're trying to get to. That doesn't intrigue me anymore. That extra 5%, like that bores me. Like I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, I mean, I don't want to be 100%. I'd rather go
Because
find a sub
I think
zero
I think
because the
I
growth of 0 to like 95 is massive. The growth from 95 to 96 is boring to me, you
well,
know what I mean?
I don't. I mean, I think I disagree with that because I think if you are really harmonized with who you are, it's you're gonna do that forever. I mean, you can do that as long as even if you live 1,000 years, you're gonna want to do that. If that is that who you are, then you will play tennis until I mean, even if you live 1,000 years old or 10,000 years, you will play 10,000 years of tennis.
Yeah, but
If
you're but
I
you're
mean,
missing. Hang on, you're missing a big point of what I'm trying to say is yes, in tennis there is no you can always grow, and there is no like point in time where I feel like I'm not growing. There is points and times in every job that I've ever had or any activity. If
exactly.
like
This is
the
what I'm
first
saying is when you are aligned with a core value, there is unlimited space for growth.
right
Unlimited, Chris. Unlimited because it doesn't matter what it is. It's unlimited, meaning you would never get satiated with that particular activity. You will always do them. You always make new things. Like let's say I'm building mm, like apps, right? It's
right
new apps, new
yeah
technology, new
yeah
ways to
right.
do things. It never say, well, I'm doing
It's
the
always
same
a new
thing.
project. Yeah
But because thing is inside of your balance, the center of balance, inside of your harmony. Your harmony is a moving target, right? Meaning,
maybe
meaning like one of your core value is learning new things, right?
it
So
is
if core value is no longer new things, like well, you can't just say, "Hey, don't learn anything," right? It's based on that particular core value itself. It's a moving target, so it keep
right.
moving. And so for me, it's like when you are aligned, you don't get tired of it. I mean, it's like, "Hey, Chris, why are you eating eggs every day? Why you eat eggs every day, Chris? Why do you marry to one wife for the whole life?"
I could argue I haven't been married to one wife for my entire life.
But the thing, and
Because she changes, just like I
right,
change. Yeah,
exactly,
right,
exactly. But that's my point is that she changes, and because of the changes, you are also aligned with that changes because that's
yeah.
what you need as a comfort.
Keeps
But
it
it's not.
entertaining.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is the change is within the comfort.
Right,
Like I say, hey, I'm comfortable driving at 50 miles an hour. That means the car's still moving, but I'm comfortable at that particular rate of or acceleration, a rate of acceleration, for
right.
example, right? That
Yeah,
means that I'm going to 50 and 55, 60, right? It's still going, but I think it's still there is something there that is comfort, right? And I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going like from 55 to like 100, right? That is too much of an increase. That's not
right.
uncomfortable, right? But if I go steady increase, like from 60, 65, 70, whatever, that's a steady rate of increase. Right? And so the act of the dynamic increase, the dynamic growth, and the aspect of learning, it is already being considered inside of the comfort zone that you hold, inside of that harmony.
Do you ever accidentally stumble upon a new road while you're driving home from somewhere, and you're just like, can you remember the last time that happened, where you're going to somewhere where you know you had to go, and then all of a sudden you found yourself on a new road, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. I didn't know this went to this place, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like, this is pleasant. There's no traffic on this road. I'm driving through, nice little open area, and and I didn't realize this connected to this place, and I could do, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what I'm talking about. It is exactly that feeling, right? When you drive to the same fucking place every goddamn day, and you drive the same route every fucking day, and you see the same stupid fucking
No, that's because
you get stopped at the same goddamn lights, and then all of a sudden you find a new road, and you're like, oh, I can go a different way. Like, this is fun. Like, that's
right. But yeah, to me is that this is the thing is when you find a road, right? But the thing is, if you're not aligned with the road, or you don't really care the road that you're finding isn't aligned with your core values, then it doesn't provide you any kind of benefits, because it's not what you want to do. But because you are forced to go to work, you are forced to go downtown or whatever, then you go the same route which you already hate, and then you say, well,
right.
This is refreshing. This is like,
That's true.
it's like, hey, there is a nail that's stuck under your foot,
Right.
And somebody's pulling it out. I say, oh, it's relief. You're relieved, but it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna find a different way. But no, you had forced yourself to go take the road you want to take, right? Because if you never had to go to work, right, for what temporary forces to do, you're going to explore. When you explore, it's like, oh, yeah, what should I go today? You're gonna do that naturally. Naturally, you're gonna say, well, I want to go downtown. I'm going this way. I go left. I go right. You already comfortable taking new routes. That's my point.
Yeah.
My point is, you are already comfortable with
this is where the
of wanting to find new places to visit. Right. So when you're talking about the scenario where you found a road after hating the road that you go every day, when you hate the road you travel, it's because somebody told you that you had to go to that place and back, that place and back, that place and back. This is why you have misery, because you aren't in control of yourself.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
You aren't allowed to fully express who you are as that entity.
Right. This
because
is why,
if you are a discoverer, if you are a adventurer, right, you will always be comfortable. Hey, I want to find a new path, and I will see every opportunity as a new path, and I look forward to taking that path and you feel comfortable doing that. You don't feel any anxiety. You don't feel any kind of stress, because when you stretch it, right, it stresses you out. For me, is I'm excited to take on new projects because I know I can conquer. I'm excited to take on, like, hey, I will build the railings on my deck. I'm excited to do that.
Right. That's fun.
I'm not anxious. I don't have any kind of stress out of it, because I know I can handle it. And that is my comfort zone.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is people need to understand that comfort isn't something that is just fixed. And
call it the balance zone. I mean, call it,
that's what I'm saying is when we say get out of your comfort zone, it irks me.
Get out of your boredom zone. How about that?
Get yourself off balance to stay balanced. It doesn't. I don't understand. I can't compute what it means to get off balance. You are already balanced, because the thing is, by default, things are going to tip you off balance. It's not like you have to get off balance yourself.
No, but you can.
You can, but why? Because in the world that we live in,
it's kind of fun. Honestly, it's kind of fun sometimes.
Well, the thing in the world we live in, there's already forces that's gonna make you off balance by default. right? Because you stand on like
But if
one
you
of those
know, but if
balance.
that's how if you know that's how the universe operates, then why not go and
Why are
do it
you
yourself?
adding? Why are you adding to your stress?
Well, because the universe does it randomly. If the universe does it randomly at a random
But I'm
intervals,
saying if
why can't
the
you do it at
universe is
regular intervals?
the universe already doing it,
Right.
right?
So it's not like you're doing something that doesn't align to the universe.
But I'm saying is there's a moot point in trying to do things the universe already doing.
Well, no, there's not, because that's what we're saying all along. It's like, taking ownership of going with the flow, going running downhill. If we,
Don't talk about extreme ownership.
I didn't say I did not. As a matter of fact, like I was writing my second reflection part two
To
of
me,
David
it
Goggins.
sounds like extreme ownership in a
No, no,
way. Like
no, no, not
to
at all.
me,
Not
it's like
no, no.
I like
We are not
my
saying hard.
balance,
Yeah,
right? It's like
yeah.
I mean, I mean, I'm saying is you are already on the treadmill of life, right? It
Right.
is constantly moving. If you stop moving, then it's gonna push you back. Therefore, it's gonna tip you off balance already. So you have to maintain a certain speed as that species to maintain that comfort zone.
Right.
If not, then you get thrown off the universe. You get thrown off the balance of the universe, and that's already been done. There is not a need for you to throw yourself off balance even more, right? Because if you are, then whatever that you do is in your comfort zone because it isn't aligned. Because whatever you do, it is basically throw you off balance just enough for your activity that you want to do to balance it.
Right.
So
That's exactly what I'm saying.
balance is a constant effort. It's never ever say, hey, I've got to this and then
It's not.
I'm
Yeah. It's not
done.
a set. It's a dynamic state.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
constant effort to maintain balance.
Right.
It's
Right.
never ever say, oh, I got there. Okay, now what do I do? That's not
That's
how life
boredom.
works.
That's what I'm saying. Even
The
if you
thing
were
is,
just
that's not how
achieving
life
balance.
works because
Right.
you
I know.
always. I mean, let me ask you this question. Do you know what tomorrow will bring?
Nope.
Exactly. Because you don't know, this is what to throw you off balance. So you're gonna say, well, I gotta get all my my tools and my skills and ready for whatever throws at me. I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to balance on it, right? Because you
Right.
never know what's going to come, so you're gonna have to balance, right? You think about it. So it's
Right.
not like nothing happens. Like things are coming at you all the time, so you're gonna have to. Well, I gotta figure out how to be flexible and balance it. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna throw myself off just because,
You got to. I
right?
mean, you got to train. I mean, like, I mean,
No, the
you
thing
got to.
is, they constant, it's constant bombarding you already.
Well, what about your muscles atrophying? Like, I mean,
The muscle will not atrophy because
if
I
you're
don't know what you're trying
if
to
you're
say,
not
but
if you're not if you're ready every single day,
no, you are
then nothing
designed
happens.
you are designed to live in a constant flux of changes. Your muscle will not atrophy. Your muscle atrophy only if you give up and do nothing, and that is not your comfort zone. I guarantee you, when you sleep, well, let's say you stay in
That,
bed,
that
you stay in
that's
bed for 16 hours a day, 16 hours a day. I mean, even for a week, you're gonna hate that bed because
oh,
that's
it's
not what
horrible.
you want. It's not your
I
comfort. It's uncomfortable.
I can't do. I actually I get the worst headaches. Like, I get like my body
Well,
starts
but that's
like
what I'm
just
saying is you sit in
sore.
bed for 16 hours. I'm not even asking you to do 24 hours. I'm saying
Right.
16 hours. You gonna be
I'd be tortured.
uncomfortable,
Yeah, I'd be tortured.
right? So
Yes.
what did you do? You didn't do anything. It just comes. Life comes and makes you uncomfortable. You have to do something to balance it, to be in the comfort zone.
I agree. All right. All right. So as always, we'll have to work on our be more impeccable with the words.
I mean, that's how we can be,
We'll keep working on it. Yeah.
how we can understand further is be able
Right.
to readjust the wording, and maybe the wording, maybe we not want to send a wording, or maybe we need to redefine the wording,
Agree.
and be able to understand really what it means to us when we say, balance, harmony, or comfort zone. And for me, is I'm struggling to understand the word comfort in this scenario because I don't want to get out of my comfort zone.
Right.
I mean, for me to stay in bed is in my comfort. Is in my comfort zone. For me to watch TV 24 hours a day is in my comfort zone because I'm not sleeping. I'm not getting up. I'm not walking. I'm not peeing. Right? You think about it. It is very, very uncomfortable. So if anybody, I mean, that's the image that comes to my head. Is if you say, "Hey, I'm in a comfortable place. Like I never
It's
want to move."
stagnant. It's stagnant.
Right? I mean,
Comfort is
stagnant
stagnant.
is
Yeah.
actually in uncomfort.
I know exactly. You make sense, and I know, and I hear what you're saying. So I'm not. I don't know the word that you're trying to describe other than I would say a balanced state.
Balance.
Yeah, right.
Balance. And
Yeah.
that's a word because I don't want people to say I want to get off balance.
That's right.
Because
well,
it takes
I think
it
the
takes a
stress
lot of
zone.
effort already
Right.
to
You're
maintain
right.
balance. Because I ask you, Chris, hey, how's your balance? Sometimes you say, hey, I'm a 9. Sometimes I'm a 5. Sometimes I'm a 1. Right?
Right.
Because life just throws that at you, and you trying to get back to the balance zone, which is 7, whatever the number is, right? Because it throw you off the course, and you are at 1, right? Say, I'm running for train all day long, and I can't take this anymore, right? So you slow down, so you go back, and then when you
Right.
go on to the 9, say, well, uh, I'm not stimulated. My brain isn't stimulating, and it's giving me boredom. I'm uncomfortable again, so I got to
Right.
get back to 7, right? So 7 is your balance, and things are gonna throw you out of balance regardless,
Yeah. I mean, too
right?
much stimulation can throw you out of
And
balance
so
too.
say, hey, I'm at 7, and now I'm gonna do something that is outside of what I want to do, so that I'm off balance, right?
Right.
Let's say, hey, Chris, you go, hey, I wanna start, I want to do my own taxes just for the sake of it.
No, that is not
Exactly.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey,
I mean, I
what
could.
happened?
Maybe I'll make that my
No,
monthly
no.
challenge.
You
Like,
could.
yeah.
You could. Doesn't mean you should though. But that's my point. Is like, hey, I want to do taxes. I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone.
Right.
Say no, thank you.
I
No,
could
thank you.
have tried to remodel my basement.
You could.
It would have been a fucking disaster. I mean, like, I would have probably killed myself, to be honest with you. All the stuff that I've seen these guys do, I would have been like, oh my god, like that probably would have taken me what those guys are about to finish in 3 weeks would have probably
I mean,
taken
the thing is,
would have probably
if
taken me
you
3
don't know
years.
what you're doing, you're gonna make things even more. You damage it. Like let's say you run something on the wall, and you suddenly your light turns off because you cut some
Yeah,
wires, and
that's what I'm saying. Is that
sparks come out. The
I
fire, like sparks come
oh,
and burn your house down, or you
dude,
hit some
oh,
pipe and then you flood in the house. Like it's not. I mean, the thing is, you think about it, it's a
it's bad.
disaster if
Yeah.
that's not what you want to do. And you say, hey, I want to get out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna go and remodel my house. Well, you might burn down your house, you flood your house, or whatever it is. You think, hey, I want to go and catch alligators, right? Well, you're gonna be missing limbs just because.
I do not want to do either one of those things, but no, you're
My
making a
point
good point.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, there is a certain activities that aligns with who you are as a person.
Right.
That gives you a comfort zone because you are given that ability.
Not a comfort zone, a balance zone. Balance.
Balance zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Cross out the word comfort. We don't use that.
Fair enough. All right, so I think that's a good place to end for the night. We'll question I guess we can leave is how do you keep yourself off balance to stay balanced, but how do you stay in that balanced state, I guess is the question that we should finish this with. And something to think about, and we'll see you all tomorrow night, live from Florida again.
Life in Florida. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Good night.